This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight, it's game number 2 of the 3-game series here at Busch Stadium. The New York Mets and the St. Louis Cardinals. With Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds and Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. Colton Wong is in the lineup again here for game number 2, and Jimmy, he's starting to pick it up.
Yeah, he is. I think it's just one of those things. Each year he's had a little bit of trouble getting comfortable. We all know what he can do with the bat and on defense, but it's all about being comfortable in the lineup, and it's tough some days when you know if you have an 0-4 that you might not be in the lineup the next day, pressing a little bit, but you can see right now he's turning it up a little bit.
AARP take on tonight. It's not only the offense with Colton Wong, but it's the defense as well. Over the shoulder. How about the backhanded play on Sunday? Then last night, Adrian Gonzalez up, takes the hit and RBI away. AARP take on tonight. He's been fantastic. Tommy Pham. He'll bat leadoff tonight. Mets and Cardinals coming up. Match any 2 items for just $3. Better burgers, better prices, Steak and Shake. Buy Steel outdoor power equipment. Pick your power, fuel or battery. With Steel, search STIHL. And by the new Cholula Buttery Jack. Part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. Tonight, the Cardinals turn to right-hander Michael Wacha. It's game number 2. Disappointing loss last night for St. Louis. Mets and Cardinals next. Start of the season, number 117 of his career. He's trying to pick up win number 4. Something he did once prior to this season. He was 4-0 in April of 2015. That year he went 17-7. There's a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal. As we know, the fastball, the changeup, a curve, and a cutter for Michael Wacha.
Well, you know, the key to his success is that fastball to get to those other pitches, and the changeup has been so dominant over the years. Early on, he was fastball, changeup. He's throwing that curveball a little bit more, maybe a little slider, cutter, but just a lot of strikes and stay ahead of the hitters.
Mets last night, the 6th time they won a game in their final at bat already here in the first month for Mickey Callaway, Michael Conforto, Yoenis Cespedes, and Jay Bruce. Then Todd Frazier, Wilmer Flores, Adrian Gonzalez, Jose Lobaton, Steven Matz, the pitcher batting 8th, and Asdrubal Cabrera will bat 9th. So Michael Conforto will lead it off for the New York Mets. And Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The Cardinals defense tonight, Marcell Ozuna, Tommy Pham, and Dexter Fowler. On the infield, Jerko, DeYoung, Wong, who has been sensational defensively in this homestand, Jose Martinez, and the catcher Yadier Molina. Here's a look at Mike Matheny. Really a tough loss for the Cardinals last night.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are tough early in the year, especially the one-run games. There's a few things there. You know, you talked to him earlier today, and you ask him questions about how you handle stuff like that, and I think that's kind of cool. Is you get the feedback and you see that it's not just go home and in the loss, but you know, it's a tough situation. You got Luke Weaver out there with 1 out away from getting into a spot where he gets a win. Do you take him out? Do you not take him out? I personally wouldn't have taken him out. Mike gets a lot of flack in the media the next day, in the paper and all the blogs and stuff. So there's always something going on every night. When you come away with a loss like that, he takes a lot of heat.
Here's Michael Conforto, 95 on the gun from Michael Waka. Conforto has reached base in all 16 games he's played in this year, and currently the 3rd longest streak in baseball after injuring his shoulder a season ago. Good downward action. No balls and 2 strikes.
But downward action is what you're looking for. Just get on top of the ball, but strikes are the key.
And the 0-2 pitch. Michael Waka is 1 strikeout away from 600 for his career. Here's a 1-2. Swing and a miss, and it's strikeout number 600 in the young career of Michael Waka. He's done this fairly quickly. Ray Sadecki, Dizzy Dean, Steve Carlton, Carlos Martinez, and now Michael Waka, youngest Cardinals to reach a milestone of 600. Here's Yoenis Cespedes. His home run traveled 463 feet last night. Good curveball. It's the 7th longest in baseball this year. He is striking out a bunch 39 times this year, but he has made the most of the balls that he's put in play because he's got 5 home runs. He's driven in 21, and the 21 second most in the National League.
Right there you see those first 2 pitches are kind of not newer weapons, but weapons that he's been using a little bit more lately. You get the breaking ball and the cutter, and then when you have 96, 97, that just makes everything so much better.
A pair of strikeouts here in the 1st inning for Michael Waka.
Good look at that 4-seamer up in the zone. So far, start off down, you get 2 strikeouts up in the zone. So a little bit of a pattern there, but when you throw 97 up in the zone like that, it is tough to catch up to.
Here's Jay Bruce, and that floats in there just a little bit high. And the 10th inning home run last night. The 16th go-ahead home run of his career. Former teammate of yours in Cincinnati. I know when we've done games that you've been on the mic and Bruce has been in the lineup, you're a big fan of this young man.
He's a great guy. I mean, I think that, like I said, the talent that he has could be in center field every day. I think it would keep him involved in the game a little bit more. I think he does get a little frustrated, and you kind of get lost, I think, sometimes playing out in right field when you're. I think he's pretty smart when it comes to the game, which I saw from playing against and then playing with. But I like him. I think he's just an incredible talent, and I think he's kind of flown under the radar, and I think his numbers could have been better if he'd been on some good teams and been pushed.
The 2-1 pitch fouled back. And the power stats are brought to you by Kubota. Most home runs, active players against St. Louis. One a current Red, the former Red Jay Bruce, and then Ryan Braun with 21. The 2-2. And a ground ball that's fair, handled by Jose Martinez. Good start for Michael Waka. Coming up for the Cardinals in the 1st inning, Pham, Fowler, Martinez. No score here at Busch. Tommy Pham here tonight. And the Cardinals line up with Pham, Fowler, Martinez, then Ozuna, Molina, and DeYoung, Jerko, Wong, and Waka. The starting 9 tonight for St. Louis. And Steven Matz, the lefty, going tonight. 5th start. Lost to the Cardinals. And Luke Weaver, the Sunday afternoon at Citi Field. 3 runs in 4 innings. Longest start of the season so far has just been 5 1/3. That was against the Brewers 2 starts ago. There's the Hyundai pitch arsenal for the lefty. First pitch to Tommy Pham is taken for a ball. He was 3 for 3 last night. On base 5 times. And a 2-run homer, pair of walks, and 15 for his last 30. One of the hottest players in all of baseball, and certainly in this lineup with the Cardinals. The 2-0. And Pham lifts a high fly ball into right field. Bruce is back. Just enough room to make the catch on the track. Bidding for his 4th home run.
It's a good swing right here. This ballpark plays big, I think, going the other way. You really got to hit it to get it out to left center and right center, especially going the opposite direction, and hit that ball pretty good. That ball's 10 rows deep in Yankee Stadium.
Here's Dexter Fowler, 1 for 18 from this side of the plate so far this year. 1 out, nobody on. And Fowler looks at a strike. Here's a 0-1. Cardinals bouncing around with Dexter Fowler in this lineup. And tonight he's in the number 2 spot. Inside. It's the 6th different Cardinal to man that spot in the lineup. The others have been DeYoung. There's Carpenter, Molina, Pham, Bader. Inside, 3-1. You ride the hot hand. Sometimes you use it as a position to get guys going too, hitting in front of the big bappers of 3, 4, and 5, and that's a long throw by Frazier, and out number 2. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The trio of Cespedes, Conforto, and Bruce in the outfield. On the infield, it's Frazier, Rosario, Flores, and Gonzalez. Jose Lobaton is behind the plate. Here's Jose Martinez. Such a frustrating loss for the Cardinals. You think about that 9th inning, the first 2 it reached. Nobody out, tie ball game, and Martinez coming up. He made it out, and then we saw inning ending double play, and the threat was through. And for the Mets, it was already the 10th come from behind win they've had this year, and that's most in baseball.
I think you had the right guy at the plate too, with Martinez. The way he was swinging the bat and the way he covers the plate, you had a chance right there. All he has to do is put the ball in play, and it looked like he was trying to shoot the ball through the right side and then swung at a bad pitch. Sometimes when you're trying to do things that you don't normally do, you make bad pitch selection. And I was saying, like, even trying to move the runner over as a player, I always found like I was always trying to do too much, and sometimes you just get caught in that situation and swing at pitches you wouldn't.
It's a ball and 2 strikes, and now a shift for the right-handed hitting Jose Martinez. More times than not, the shifts are against the lefties. Martinez, though, has shown a propensity to take a ball on the outside corner to right field, not roll over it.
Yeah, I think he's a perfect guy to play straight up, to be honest with you. He's going to hit it where it's pitched.
Inside corner and a strikeout for Steven Matz. The Cardinals go in order. Coming up, Frazier, Flores, and Gonzalez. Position in the Cardinal lineup, and with more on that, we send it down to the Cat.
Danny, Mike Matheny told me he's always excited to see Tommy Pham at the top of the batting order. He says it's his speed, his aggressiveness, and nobody ahead of him on the bases to slow him down. Tommy downplaying hitting leadoff. He told me people make too much of where someone hits. He said no matter where you hit, you have to take the same type of at-bat. I don't change my approach, whether I'm leading off, hitting second, third, whatever. And Dan, Tommy told me he is focused on causing havoc on the base paths, but it's not easy. He told me there's a lot of attention paid to me on the bases. I have to be smart. Dan?
Good stuff as always, Cat. See, when Jimmy is on the game, I got to say either Cat or ball game to know which Jim I'm referring to. That pitch taken low by Todd Frazier, who's picked up 9 RBI in his last 11 games. Drawing a lot of walks, 18, tied for the 3rd most in the National League. They've got a veteran lineup. Some of the veterans off to slow starts, but yet if they put it together with the type of pitching that they possess, this could be one of the surprises coming out of the National League East.
Oh, you saw how they started off really hot, and then all of a sudden something happened. I don't know what happened. They don't know what happened, but you're right. You got a pretty good club.
It's a base hit into right for Todd Frazier. We turn to ball game's keys to the game.
Well, there's my key right there. That man, Michael Wacha, I think just pounding the strike zone. He's one of those guys, when he starts to pound the strike zone, guys have to be aggressive, and he climbs the ladder, and it's tough to catch up with. I'm going to go back from last night to today, get the offense going early, erase that loss last night in the late innings, get going again early today, try to get some runs on the board, and kind of just put all that stuff behind you.
Off-speed pitch taken outside by Wilmer Flores. The Mets, they are 15-6. Tied for the 2nd best start in club history with the '88 team and the 2015 Mets. The best start, if you're wondering, 1986, they were 17-4. A team that eventually won the World Series. A team that featured former Cardinal MVP of 1979, Keith Hernandez. He shared that honor with Willie Stargell in '79. And here's the 1-0 pitch. Keith working on the broadcast with Gary Cohen of SNY. Here's a brand new book that'll be out on the 15th of May. Simply titled, I'm Keith Hernandez. But a lot of it will interest Cardinal fans. It's primarily about his formative years, and that happened in St. Louis, both on and off the field. There's some that will tell you Keith Hernandez is the finest defensive first baseman that ever played the game. I'd be one of them.
I hear that a lot.
2-2. Keith grew up in the Bay Area out west, but yet idolized Stan the Man. His dad played minor league baseball, had connections with the Cardinals, and so when the Cardinals would go out west, he would go in the clubhouse and he met Stan Musial. He was a very late round draft choice because most believed he was headed to Stanford, and turned that down and signed with the Cardinals. That's it out of play. 1982 world champion with St. Louis, and then the famous Mets team that beat the Red Sox. Ball that went through the legs of Bill Buckner. And the 2-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat, little squibber out to Waka, bare hands, and makes the play. Runner advancing, that's Frazier from first to second.
Nice play right here, just getting off the mound, making a simple throw. Can you imagine how crazy that World Series was, watching it from our angle? Imagine being in the middle of that. Just
Keith Hernandez was in the clubhouse, and he wouldn't get up from his seat because he said he was superstitious and essentially was out of his uniform and thought it was over. One of the craziest games in World Series history. And the funny part about it, Mookie Wilson and Bill Buckner have become the best of friends. They vacation together, they do signings together, and they're very, very close. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Adrian Gonzalez.
What if you get close, because nowadays everyone wants those card shows and bring people in for certain things, and they just keep running into each other over and over and over. Probably do talks.
And they fish a lot together too.
I think when people find out that they're friendly, then that just makes them both more apt to come and do shows and all kinds of stuff. I mean, that's great for both of them.
It's really emotional to see Buckner go back to Fenway Park in Boston, as he was introduced to their fan base. Oh, it's probably been 3 or 4 years ago now, but he came on the field, had his uniform top on, and people were talking about it because it got ugly, you know, with the fan base and Buckner and the media. And now here's a guy that had 2,800 hits, and one ball went through his legs. Obviously, they had not shaken the curse of the Bambino, and he's kind of the poster child for that collapse in Game 6. And he came out on the field at Fenway Park and just was so emotional with the tears coming down his cheeks. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and third strikeout, again elevated from Michael Waka. Missouri Lottery Fox Track says Gonzalez chased that pitch up.
The ball's so hard to lay off of because you know it's coming. You know he's going to try and elevate. So if it's at the top of the zone, you have to get ahead of it and get on top of it. Sometimes it's just your eyes see it too good and you want to try to be in front of it and chase it.
Now Jose Lobaton. This turns out to be a important signing for the Mets. Travis d'Arnaud, along with Kevin Plawecki, would have been 1 and 2 in their catching. But Lobaton signed as a minor league free agent in December. Bunch of major league time, and now getting a chance to play with all the injuries that they've had. A swing and a miss. One ball and 2 strikes. Were you a big Seinfeld fan?
No, I was not.
You're one of the few.
Yep.
Clearly know that. But Keith Hernandez had an appearance on Seinfeld. And that's kind of the tie-in with the name of the book, I'm Keith Hernandez. It's kind of the funny part of it. He told me he's probably known more for Seinfeld with a younger generation of fans than what he did on the baseball field.
I can see that.
Yep. The 2-2. Lost his bat and struck out. And that's 4 already in 2 innings for Michael Wacha. The Mets strand a runner at second base. We move to the home half of the second. Ozuna, Molina, DeYoung all coming up for the Cardinals. Well, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Cardinals. It's presented by T-Mobile. There's Marcell Ozuna. He is 1 for his last 28, and that 1 hit is an infield hit. Teams have really been busting him inside.
It's a tough thing, especially early in the year when teams pitch you in. They keep pitching you in, and then you start looking for the in. And then it kind of opens you up to a lot of things. It opens you up to the outside part of the plate. And a lot of times it'll open you up to pitches further in off the plate, because to hit the pitch in, you got to cheat a little bit. So you're starting early, and you're not having a good time or a good chance to recognize exactly where that pitch is.
I would assume that some of what's going on is a new team, new surroundings. You're trying to impress here early on. And the 1-1. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
See that swing right there? That's the swing when you get frustrated and you know they're going to pitch you in, and you tell yourself, the next time somebody throws me a ball in there for a strike, I'm going to hit it out of the stadium and just show everyone I can hit it. And that's why you start to struggle.
2-2.
To hit that pitch on the inside, you have to start just a little bit early. And so you don't recognize the off-speed pitch or the location as well. And that's what will get you in a slump.
The 2-2 pitch is swing and a miss. And Ozuna strikes out. That's number 2 for the lefty Steven Matz. It brings in Yadier Molina off to a terrific start here in 2018. The National League ranks 14th in average, tied for 7th. 6 home runs. He's in the top 10 of RBI. Top 11 of slugging percentage. And just an all-around great guy. Your former teammate, when he began, came up in 2004. Everybody talked about his defense. The offense was an afterthought, and he has turned himself into a threat at the plate.
He has made himself an all-around player. And it's funny, too, because every time you say something about him being young, I can remember in spring training, after every day, they made him ride the bike for like a half hour so he would shed some weight. So I think about this chubby kid coming in with all the talent in the world, but not really, like you said, an offensive threat. And he has gone above and beyond getting in shape, proving to everyone in the world that not only can he catch, and he's a better catcher now than, or in his prime than he was when he first came up, and he's turned himself into a good hitter. Just amazing what you can do when you work hard.
His ability to spoil pitches, not overswing, put the ball in play.
Does a really good job of staying inside the ball, and staying inside the ball, the complete opposite of looking inside. Staying inside the ball, waiting and waiting and waiting gives you so much more time to recognize where and what you're getting.
Drives it out to left. Cespedes back and near the track and makes the catch.
You can be a little bit, you can wait a little bit longer and be quicker, so you don't have to take that big swing, and it changes the way you recognize pitches. And it gives you an opportunity to swing a little late at a ball out over the plate and foul it off, or just kind of hook a ball that hangs a little bit. And then you can see that really wasn't that much of a swing to get started, but when he recognized he was going to swing at it and hit it, he speeds up right at the end there and almost hits the ball out of the ballpark.
It's been a good homestand here for Paul DeJong. 6 for 16. Couple of home runs, and he is up to 7, which is 3rd best in the National League. Arcia drive to success. Paul DeJong, the Cardinals shortstop. And the numbers on the homestand. He's driven in 6 to go along with those 2 homers. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
There's another young man that they're pitching in and trying to get him to speed up. You can see he does a good job of trying to take those pitches, because really what they want to do is just speed you up to get you out away and throw those breaking balls. So the frustrating part is, if we went back and saw that first pitch is in off the plate, right? He's telling himself, don't swing at that pitch, don't swing at that pitch. Here comes the ball. It's a ball inside, and now you're 0-1 on a pitch that's probably off the plate inside. So he's making adjustments, doing a good job, and then the umpire puts you in the hole. Those are all the things that come into play when you're struggling and trying to figure it out. Just really try to tell yourself, I'm going to get a pitch out over the plate. Before my at bat is over with, I got to stay on it. You slowly come back to being the hitter that you are, and you take off from there.
The 2-2 just missed. Previous pitch, a foul ball, fell just below us, and gentleman there with the glasses and the gray Cardinals shirt caught it, and young man behind him, the recipient of a new souvenir. I mean, you got to do that, right? If you got a young kid around you, you got to give up the baseball.
You got to.
Yeah. Take the pictures. Got the souvenir. You'll never forget this night here at the ballpark.
Don't forget to say thank you if someone hands you the ball.
Inside corner, and Matz picks up strikeout number 3 and 2 in the inning. We played 2, and there's no score. Helping a local boy's Make-A-Wish dream come true. To play baseball with the Cardinals. First pitch, it's a strike. And this smile says it all. Awesome.
That is so awesome.
Nothing like it being at the ballpark. That pitch taken low by Steven Matz. Here's a 2-0 pitch, and it's 2-1. And the 2-1. Matt's trying to bunt his way on. It rolls foul.
Flying down the first baseline.
Mentioned that last night's come from behind win for the Mets, the 10th of the season, most in baseball. The Cardinals, by the way, they have 4 of those this season. Mickey Callaway is the new manager of the Mets. First year took over for Terry Collins, and so far so good as the 2-2 is hit into center field and a base hit for Steven Matz. Mickey Callaway using the pitcher batting 8th. And now he's got the number 9 man in Ahmed Rosario, and chance to do some different things here with your pitcher at first base and a number 9 man coming up that's a position player.
You look like a genius when this works out, especially with nobody out. The pitcher 8, got the 9th hitter, then you got the top of the lineup up.
And a swing and a miss. So on the bench tonight, Brandon Nimmo. From the left side, Tomas Nido, the backup catcher, Juan Lagares, former Gold Glover. The couple switch hitters, Jose Reyes and Asdrubal Cabrera. Off the end of the bat into shallow right field, and the catch is made by Dexter Fowler. Download the app, play for free, start your streak, and compete to win $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today in the App Store or on MLB.com/BTS. There's Michael Conforto. He struck out to start the game, and that was career strikeout number 600 for Michael Wacha. And a ground ball. How about 2 out there? And Wong had a little issue getting it out of the glove, and would have been a tight play at first anyway, but they do get the lead man.
See if we can see what happened here. Cole's got so much range. Just let that ball kind of, for lack of a better term, eat him up a little bit. Kind of caught it on the heel of the glove and couldn't get his hand in there to stop it. Most importantly, though, you got to get it under control and get the lead out.
Extends the inning to Cespedes. 2 outs, runner at first. I asked Mike Matheny today, I said, have you been around a player that thrives on momentum like Kolten Wong, both ways, good and bad? And he answered very quickly. He said, never. He said he's a guy that feeds on those positive things like any player does. As Cespedes rips it into left field. But it seems like if you watch a good play by Kolten Wong early in a game, expect a big game from him. And if things don't go his way, they can sometimes snowball the other way.
And that's something you can learn too as a young player. You got to learn how to separate, especially offense and defense, but really play to play. That is something that if you don't learn is going to really hamper your playing time as you get older, because every year goes by, younger players come up just as talented, and you get there's opportunities for other guys to come up and show that they can separate and they can do things on a continuous basis. And that's why you got to get that and learn how to handle success and failures at the same time.
And the first pitch, a ball to right fielder Jay Bruce.
Sometimes handling the success is just as hard as handling the failures.
Staying even keel with it. The 1-0 is a broken bat single into right field. A run will score, and the Mets will have runners at first and third, and it's 1-0 New York. Conforto scores the first run of the ball game. I'm not sure Wong and DeYoung and Martinez would have turned that double play, but because they didn't, it extended the inning to Cespedes and Bruce and back-to-back singles in this broken bat hit.
Good pitch by Michael Wacha. Jay Bruce is just so strong. That cutter gets in on the handles a little bit. You hear the bat break, but just enough to get it out in the outfield and drive in the run. Splinters of bat everywhere on the infield.
Still picking up pieces.
That's a raw deal when you make a pitch like that. Explode a bat and still give up a run.
Now Todd Frazier, base hit into right. First hit for the Mets tonight, back in the second inning. And a pitch taken inside. He's driven in 9 in his last 11 games. One ball and one strike. News out of the NL Central today that Eric Thames has a tear in his thumb, so he's going to miss considerable time. That's a big loss. They're already down a closer with Corey Knebel out. Did not go. And now a hitter's count, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Oof.
Jansen Visconti is the first base umpire. Brian Gorman, the crew chief, calling the balls and strikes. And the 2-1 pitch to Frazier. Adrian Johnson, a part of this crew, as well as Trip Gibson. The 3-1 pitch. And the base is loaded. First walk by Michael Wacha. And the bases are loaded, and it brings in Wilmer Flores and a visit from pitching coach Mike Maddox. Nurses Night returns this year with a day and night option for all the shift workers. Choose from the day game that's on the 8th of May, the night game on the 21st. Either way, purchase of a special themed ticket, you receive an exclusive Cardinals scrub jacket. And tickets are on sale now at cardinals.com/theme. So the base is loaded for the Mets. And Wilmer Flores bounce back to Michael Wacha. First time up, and he's 0 for 1. Fastball, a good one. You picked it up last year, but some of these fastballs to right-handed hitters, Yadier Molina will turn his head ever so slightly to try to ease the blow if there's a foul tip. That's it out of play. And that is by design, as you found out.
Yeah, I had to ask him because I thought he was flinching. I thought, after all these years, please tell me that you're not flinching. And he said, no, I just don't want to catch the ball in the front of my face anymore. He feels that if he just gives a little bit of an angle, it'll glance off a little bit more of a ricochet than get hit square.
Here's a 0-2 pitch with the bases loaded. Fastball and just missed outside. Little chopper hit up the middle. DeYoung will step on the bag. GMC leaderboard, and our good friend Keith O'Brien back at it again. Not a question of whiff, but when. Most strikeouts per 9 innings in the ranks this season: Syndergaard, Matz, and DeGrom. Jed Jerko looks at a breaking ball and a strike. That's how we start the home half of the third.
Take a look at the infielders right here. They obviously think Jed's going to pull the ball. Maybe they're going to try and pitch him in or pitch him soft. And 3 guys on the left side, 1 guy on the right. Basically second base is wide open. I always find it interesting when you look at that arrangement right there. Look at the outfield. Center fielder's on the right center field side, but yet they're playing the pull on the infield.
Ooh, watch out. It's
there you
lined
go.
And right into the shift and into the glove of Wilmer Flores.
Apparently he's hit that ball before. Ooh, he's standing right there. That's got to make the coaching staff happy, right?
That's perfect.
Do a knuckleball right there. That's incredible. Great work by the cameraman.
Steven Matz, very tough on lefties coming into tonight, has not given up a hit to a left-handed batter. Wong, knowing that, trying to drop down a bunt. The splits for Matz, so Carpenter, Greg Garcia, both on the bench tonight. On the other side, Tyler O'Neill, Francisco Pena, and Harrison Bader. Here's the 0-1. Oh-2 pitch. Missed his spot. Got away with it. Wong with a couple of doubles last night. 3 extra base hits. Last 2 games. Michael Wacha on deck. And the 0-2 pitch. He waves at it, and it's strikeout number 4 for Steven Matz. Nope, he's going to say that Wong barely got a piece of it. Just stays alive.
The ball was kind of hidden right there.
And another 0-2 pitch. Wong puts it in play slowly towards second. Flores can't come up with it. And it's an infield hit, the first of the night for the Cardinals. The first of the year against Matz by a left-handed batter.
Does a good job. I mean, this is what you have to do to get back in the lineup. You got to put the ball in play and run. Can't strike out. Did a good job fighting off the lefty. Good things happen when you put the ball in play.
Michael Wacha is 0 for 9 to start 2018. Third baseman Frazier in at third. And a fastball taken down and in. It was the 4th infield hit this year for Colton Wong to lead the club. Here's a 1-0 instead of check on Wong. Had the honor of emceeing an event tonight prior to our first pitch. The Central Patrol Business Association night here at the ballpark, honoring those officers that work here in the city. Mayor Lyda Crewson was here. Chief of Police was here. 4th District Officer Gary Glaspie was honored, and an amazing story of courage, a hero here. And also honored was Lieutenant Colonel Michael Caruso. Picked up the Howard Meyer Award. He's had 42 years of service As a police officer in St. Louis, I've known Officer Caruso since my days of doing Blues hockey, and that's a long time ago. He was always at the rink.
We'll see.
Waka gets the bunt down, and the throw is wide. Wong on his way to third, and he'll stop there. I would imagine that Officer Caruso is watching tonight, and we miss you here at the ballpark. Get better, and thank you so much for everything you've done over the years. It's a sacrifice and an error on Mats. First sacrifice of the year for Michael Waka.
I think as a second baseman, you have to catch that ball. Can't let that ball go past you. I know it's tough because you want to make the out, but so I think the hardest thing, especially for young players, to teach them to catch the ball first. Sometimes you have to give up the out to keep double play in order, to keep guys from running around the bases a little bit more, run some scoring.
And now Harrison Bader, he's pinch hitting for Tommy Pham, and that's probably not a good sign. Of course, Pham has been nursing the sore groin. Jim Hayes reported over the weekend, first by any member of the media, that Tommy had been dealing with flu-like symptoms. Jim always worked in the clubhouse, so maybe something there. You never know. But Pham leaves the ball game, and now Bader takes over the top spot. 2 balls and no strikes. Runners at first and third. The Cardinals trailing by a run.
Usually that face is not a good face right there. That's that intense, I don't like what's going on face.
It's 3-0. I think most guys have the green light on 3-0, even a young player like Bader.
No, I don't think so. I really don't. I would say that a lot of times they probably won't tell you yes or no, let you hit. But I'm going to say that the majority of the time they might ask you to take a strike.
But I was going to say the opposite.
Well, see, I think it also depends on the pitcher. So, yeah, day to day, I guess they would give you the green light because they're just not going to say anything. But giving pitchers history, and when there's a young player out there, manager doesn't think that this is a good matchup for this, or might swing at a bad pitch, then they might give you the take. But yeah, I guess you're right. They probably would let him swing, but I would think they're going to give the take a lot.
I think it's more in play with a younger player like Bader as opposed to, let's say, Dexter Fowler or Matt Carpenter or Ozuna, where they've got the green light. Just be selective.
Yep.
And in other times you may take that choice away from a young batter. So now the Cardinals, with the bases loaded, the first walk issued by Steven Matz after he committed the error on what should have been out number 2 of the inning. And here you go, the Cardinals, the doors open, chance to do some damage. Inning started with Jericho lining out. Wong the infield hit, sacrificed by Waka, and the walk issued to Harrison Bader. And that's a ball to Fowler. This is where the Cardinals did not capitalize last night. They did have opportunities to add on, couldn't do it. In this case, a chance to get on the board or take the lead. 1 ball and 1 strike on the Cardinals right fielder. Way inside. Sometimes after a pitcher commits an error, they become a little unnerved, and that may be the case right here.
Definitely can happen. Some frustration can creep in there and throw you off a little bit. But hopefully the Cardinals can capitalize right here. I'd just like to see him get the ball into the outfield, drive in this run. 1 run at a time. 1 run at a time. Can't score them all if you don't score the first one, right? Something like that.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Dexter Fowler. Grounded out to third, first time up. And Fowler drives this out to right field. Good arm, and Jay Bruce, catch is made. He'll fire towards the plate, and safe is Wong. And with that, this game is tied with the RBI by Dexter Fowler, his 10th of the year. Runners stay put at first and second, and now Jose Martinez called out. A strike on the inside corner back in the first inning. So many times you think about baseball in the game of inches. Wong barely touches the ball with 2 strikes to stay alive. Matz barely missed the man covering at first base, turns into an error. And it opens up just a little door for the Cardinals. Two balls and no strikes.
Puts a lot of pressure on the pitcher too. That's what you see here sometimes now, trying to make the perfect pitch, trying not to give up a hit instead of just really throwing like he was. Changes everything.
They shade Martinez to hit to the opposite way. Conforto, center fielder, and towards right center. And Cespedes is towards the line in left, so with that, a big gap in left center.
And they are deep. Jay Bruce is as deep as you can get without being on the track.
2 balls, 1 strike on Jose Martinez. 2-2.
Tough spot right here to be the hitter. He's got a pitch to play with. He's got a lot of weapons. Pressure's on you not to strike out. Try to stay inside the ball.
Base hit into right field. Waka is held up at third. Throw is way wide towards the plate. As a third base coach, so many things come into play. And in this particular situation, your pitcher, you could chance it, but yet the thing about a pitcher too, you don't want to get him hurt at the plate as well.
The high changeup does a good job of staying inside that ball. Michael Waka does a pretty good job here. He's running hard, but you're right. You got to be careful with your guy out there on the mound. Even though you would love to have that run, you also would love to keep your pitcher in the game for the next 4 or 5 innings.
And Dave Island, the longtime pitching coach, championship clubs with Kansas City, now in his first year with the Mets, out to visit. And the bases are loaded for Marcell Ozuna. You know it's only a matter of time before Ozuna gets either just a little soft hit, infield hit, a bloop, or maybe even a blast, but it's not far away. The track record is there.
I was down in the clubhouse earlier today and saw a few. They were actually showing highlights of Matt's pitching, and he was against the Marlins from last year. And Ozuna was hitting, and I noticed how short his swing was. And so I think what we're seeing, like I said, trying to get out in front of that fastball early. Swing has gotten a little bit longer, not what he's normally used to. That definitely right there is not going to help. That ball is way off the plate on the inner half.
Ozuna is known to maybe take a teammate's bat, and that does not look like the bat he's been using here recently. Sometimes he'll just grab a bat no matter what. Am I right about that? That looks like a different bat.
Yeah. Just wondering if you're taking a bat, whose bat are you taking?
Right.
Does it matter whose name's on it, or does it matter how it feels, or is there a lucky bat? Go up that barrel and see whose name's on it.
30th pitch of the inning here from the lefty Steven Matson, Ozuna in the hole, 0-2. Popped up to the right side. And because maybe the swing has gotten a little bit longer, that's why we're seeing it's a byproduct of teams busting him inside. I mean, they are trying to wear him out in.
And that's just like I said, it's trying to get the bat out in front, trying to hit the ball too hard when the ball's on the inner half. So you get a backdoor breaking ball where he just waits on it, hits it into right center field gap, changes his entire approach for the next couple weeks.
And that's a base hit into left field. One run is in. Here comes another. Throw to the plate. Save as the ball gets away. Ozuna to second. That's how you bust out. And the Cardinals have their first lead of the night. It's 3-1.
Or you could just take a breaking ball and hit it into left. I mean, breaking ball or breaking ball. Key right here is for him as he recognizes this breaking ball and he stays on it. That is not a long swing right there. It was a good job. I think the thing that he did earlier in the year, which was good, was he was hitting with 2 strikes and he wasn't trying to do too much. So right there, shortens up a little bit, hits the ball hard into left field and gets both of those runs in. Don't know what they're doing out there when they get their hits, but some kind of form of the rally squirrel.
Could be. Well, I have an update on Tommy Pham. Tommy is out with an accidental head laceration. I'm not making it up. That's the official word. No.
I'm kidding.
I couldn't make that up.
No, I'm not. I'm really not.
I couldn't come up with that one. Hopefully Tommy's all right. Here's the 0-1 to Molina. The pitch taken high. And already Oswalt, Corey Oswalt, one of 7 right-handers, getting loose in the pen for the Mets. So the Mets not happy with what they're seeing now. You know, Mets was cruising. It was 7 up, 7 down. Looked to have a strikeout of Wong, which would have been 8 straight to start the game. He picks up the infield hit. Matz commits the error. Then the walk. Fowler the fly ball with the bases loaded. Martinez a 2-out hit. Ozuna the 2-out hit to drive in 2.
He's definitely pitching a little bit more carefully, and that's not allowing him to let it fly. And guys get on top of the ball a little bit and get a couple runs in.
And the catch made by Michael Conforto. 35 pitches in the inning. Ozuna the base hit into left. And with that swing, it scores 2. Carp loves it. Cardinals on top. what may happen this weekend, we check in with the Cat.
Dan, the Cards made it official after last night's game. Jack Flaherty will be recalled for Saturday to take Adam Wainwright's start. Flaherty has already shown well at the big league level. He's 3-0 at Memphis with a 2.25 ERA. There are plenty of good options in Memphis, including Austin Gomber and John Gant, but GM Michael Gersh told me, I think at this point, Flaherty is our 6th starter. We just needed to make sure it was a good fit in terms of his pitching schedule. Gersh says the biggest change for Flaherty is confidence. Dan, Gersh told me any concerns Flaherty had that his stuff wouldn't play at the big league level are long gone.
Absolutely. He pitched very well in that one start against Milwaukee as a wipeout slider. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Adrian Gonzalez. And Gonzalez is struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. Late swing there. He's had a very good career, over 2,000 hits, over 400 doubles for Gonzalez, a .277 hitter here at this ballpark. Two balls and 2 strikes. Gonzalez here, and then Lobaton, and the pitcher spot, Steven Matz. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that's 5 already for Michael Wacha. It's a good changeup
right there. Yeah, you see what. That's the thing with the changeup and even the fastball. You see right there, that ball caught a seam. And did you just see it? Just wouldn't stop going away. So changeup you normally get, you see it. It's good pitch. It's just going down. That ball looked like it caught a seam. And you know, as a hitter, you're like, oh, here's that changeup. I'm going to try to hit it the other way, and then just keeps running and running and running.
Just like that.
See, that one has that fade and down to it, but every now and then something will happen, catch a seam, and it just will really take off. Look at that thing. Just down and away.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. And a fastball. 1-2. Michael Wacha burst onto the scene. Less than a year in the minor leagues. Came up to the major leagues. Essentially a 2-pitch pitcher. Yachty could not hold on. It was basically fastball, changeup. The curveball's become a much better pitch for him.
Seems like it gets better and better every time he goes out. I thought he had some really good ones tonight. Early. Good cutter slash slider. Sometimes it gets big, sometimes it's small. But yeah, he was dominant with just fastball change when he first came up.
Out to left center. There's Harrison Bader. And he makes the catch. We flash back to his first career win against the Mets. It was a windy, and I mean windy, night. He struck out the first 9. June 11th of 2013. That's also the place that he has his first ever and only complete game of his career, complete game shutout. That happened a season ago. Here's a 1-0. After tomorrow, barring postseason play, Cardinals and Mets are done until spring training. Soft liner to Colton Wong, and a 1-2-3 inning for Michael Wacha. produced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Think about them just about every day when I walk into the ballpark and then look out that left field wall and the Hall of Famers, the legends of Cardinals baseball. The great Jack Buck. Had the privilege of sharing a microphone with Jack doing NFL shows at KMOX on Sunday nights, and then doing Cardinals baseball with Jack. The thrill of a lifetime. You came to St. Louis in 2000. Jack was still doing games, and I'm sure he came right up to you, introduced himself, which he always would make a point to do. If a new player showed up, how are you? I'm Jack Buck. You're Jim Edmonds.
Yeah, he was trying to get me to buy the next door neighbor's house. I told you that story.
Oh yeah.
Invited me over to the house and wanted to show me around. And this is the neighborhood you want to live in. I still tell Joe that all the time. He cracks up.
What are those, kid? Mr. Buck, these are my notes. There's a base hit inside the third base line by Paul DeYoung. Oh yeah, those are great notes. Let me see those, kid. Here you go, Mr. Buck. Tore him into about 1,000 pieces. And my stomach dropped. I had no notes. We were doing radio, and he said, "That's not the bleeping game," as he pointed to where the notes went in the trash can, then pointed to the field and said, "That's the bleeping game. Call what you see, kid. Good luck," and left me by myself. And then joined me a couple of innings after that.
I feel like Joe has that same story. His dad left him in the booth by himself.
Amazing man.
You had to be shaking.
I was. Here's the 0-1 pitch. At KMOX, the sports show then was right before Cardinals baseball, and if the team was on the road, tail end of Jack's life, he was doing the sports open line program leading into Cardinals baseball, and so we would do a show, or Randy Carricker, who's now in a very popular 101 show with Brad Thompson and Chris Ranji here in town, and Randy would be there as well at KMOX, and the folks that were the cleaning crew would come around and always wait to come in the sports office around, say, 6 o'clock. Jack would hit the air at 6:10, 6:15. That ball scoots away, but DeYoung stays put. Other nights, if Jack wasn't there, the cleaning crew would be in probably 4:30. But if they knew he was going to be there, they waited till about 6 o'clock. Jack would reach into his pocket, and $100 for everybody, the cleaning crew, every night. And then he'd tell you, "Kid, order us a pizza." I'd say, "All right, Mr. Buck, what do you want?" "I don't care." He wouldn't eat any of it anyway. As Jerko hits a fly ball out to shallow left, and he'd say, "Here's $100, kid. Go get the pizzas." Sometimes he'd give you $200, and he'd say, "Well, what did you do with the money?" I said, "Well, I got your change." The first time I did that, he said, "Don't you ever give me that change back, ever." He said, "Did you tip him?" I said, "Yeah, I left him a unbelievable tip." He said, "What'd you do with the rest of it?" I said, "Here's your change." He said, "Nope. You either put that in your pocket or it goes to the delivery man." He was so generous with his time and his money, and I saw it every single night. An incredible man and ambassador for this city. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Colton Wong. It's fouled back. I miss seeing Carol Buck here at the ballpark too. Jack's lovely wife. I'm not sure if she's listening or watching tonight. She may not appreciate this story, but Jack occasionally would say he called what we call the bat phone. It was the red phone in the sports office at KMOX. Be about 5 o'clock. I'd answer the phone. KMOX Sports. How can I help you? Dan, it's Jack. Call me in 5 minutes. Let Carol answer and tell her you need me down there. Get me out of here. Softly hit to short, and Wong beats it out. So of course I had to call the Buck household. Hello, it's Carol. This is Buck. It's Dan McLaughlin. Dan, how are you? All of a sudden you'd hear the other phone. Hello? You need me? I'll be there. Click.
Didn't even let you speak. Another great job by Colton staying inside the ball. I mean, if you can run, why not use it, right? So put the ball in play and go. Done a nice job of that tonight. That will keep you in the lineup over and over and over.
So 2 infield hits, and now Michael Walkup with runners at first and third.
You know what that is in the box score tomorrow, right? A line drive to the left.
2 knocks, right?
Yeah.
You'll take them.
His friends will pick up the paper in the morning, turn on the internet, see that he had 2 base hits.
Rest of the pitchers watching intently. 1 ball, no strikes. Walker was showing bunt there as they threw over. He gave it away. Our friend Joe Buck expecting twins, and good luck to Joe and his family. Runner goes from first. Walker gets the bunt down. Play at the plate. Save! The ball gets away. DeYoung scores. And Wong advances to third. 4-1 Cardinals.
Some kind of crazy play right here, but this is one gutsy call by Mike Matheny. The runner starts, little bit of a squeeze. I thought it was a late jump, maybe safety squeeze, but it wasn't. Great job by Paul DeYoung, and then ball gets away and Colton cruises on into third. Nice work. Just how they draw it up. Little chalkboard in there before the game. He said, you know, you do this and you do that. You bunt the ball right here, he'll throw it away. Just like a football play.
That pitch down and in to Harrison Bader. And Bader hit by the pitch.
It's like you're watching a different pitcher when guys get on base.
No question.
Steven Matz is like, early in the inning, he's throwing good fastball. He's moving the ball around. He's been a little wild today, but around the zone. And then I feel like when he gets someone on, he gets a little tight. He's trying to make too good of a pitch. There he just pulled the curveball a little too much. But a lot of the pitches when guys have been on base have been all over the place.
The bases loaded again now for Fowler. He came up with the bases loaded in the third, hit a sac fly. On the bunt play, the air charge to Lobaton, which allowed Wong advancing to third. And a strike. The base is loaded. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Inside, 2-2. The 20th pitch of the inning. Inside again. Already to 86 pitches for Mats.
Normally, as a manager, you don't want the pitcher on base to run. Especially don't want him in front of Harrison Bader in a situation like this.
Bases loaded. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Fowler spoils it. Dexter with a grand slam last year, which was the night right after the grand slam hit by Molina, the rally cat against Kansas City. He's sitting on 99 career home runs. And he takes ball 4. And with that, it's a 5-1 St. Louis lead. The second RBI of the night for Dexter Fowler. That'll be it for Steven Matz. Corey Oswald, the right-hander, coming in for the Mets. The bases loaded, and Martinez coming up. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by Barnes Jewish Hospital and Washington University Physicians, national leaders in medicine. It's a Major League debut for Corey Oswald. No relation to Roy. He's 24 years old, from San Diego, 7th round pick in 2012. And this is his first relief appearance since June of 2016. That was in the Florida State League. The St. Lucie Mets won 12 games as a starter, AA Binghamton last year, and had an ERA that was below 2.5. So welcome to the Bigs. You get the bases loaded, and Jose Martinez, and only 1 out. And the first pitch is strike. We saw Oswald in spring training. Pretty good stuff.
Take a look at the runners again, and like I said, Michael Walker's been out there a few times and not there a long time this time around.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Martinez 4 for 8 with the bases loaded. One ball and one strike. The next two, Jose Martinez. Big rip and fouled it back. Woof.
Just barely late. Barely.
Last Cardinals pitcher with 2 sacrifices, RBI, runs scored, Anthony Reyes back in 2007. That's happened tonight here for Michael Wacha. Cardinals trying to add to their 5-1 lead. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Again, we told you that Tommy Pham is out with an accidental head laceration. I'm glad it wasn't intentional.
Don't ask.
Two and two the count. Hopefully Tommy's all right. We'll find out more after the game. And again it goes to 3 and 2. Marcell Ozuna. First multi-RBI game since the 9th. That was against Milwaukee. He picked up 2 though with one swing of the bat. Bases loaded. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The next two, Martinez up the middle. Nice play and a flip to get the out at second. That saves at least 1 run. But one does come in to score. That's Michael Wacha. And it adds to the Cardinals' lead. Marcell Ozuna came up with 2 outs. The bases loaded back into third. And picked up a base hit to left field. That drove in 2, and he's now up to 13 on the year. Well, I mentioned in his previous at bat, I thought he was using a different piece of lumber, and that indeed is the case. Apparently, that is the bat of Jose Martinez.
Should just use the same one he's using.
You ever do that? Just grab somebody's bat and say, well, I'm going up with this one.
We were struggling so bad in Anaheim at one point that we decided to all use the same bat for one time through the lineup.
Off the glove of Frazier, Ozuna beats it out. The run scores.
Another getting shorter swing, ball in the nose. Tough play for Frazier. Good hustle by Ozuna, and you can tell he's a little bit of a team player. He's excited. Hit the ball hard, got a run scored. Move the guys around. He's contributing to the offense tonight. It's a good feeling.
Runners at first and second for Yadier Molina. 7-1 our score. And a pitch taken inside. So it's an error on Todd Frazier. That'll be his 3rd of the season. And a ground ball. That's fair. Frazier steps on the bag. Big inning for the Cardinals. 3 in the 3rd. 4 more here in the 4th. And it all adds up to a 7-1 lead. Some small ball in this game. And the Cardinals having a little fun. Rain around the ballpark for the better part of a couple of hours, and now it's officially on us. But
Mist.
light rain.
Mist.
Nothing to stop the game.
Actually, a little bit more than mist.
Ahmed Rosario. He fly to right first time up. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. For Steven Matz, the lefty and the starter for the Mets tonight, shortest outing of the year, 3 1/3. 5 hits, 5 runs, only 2 were earned. Walked a couple, struck out 3, but 88 pitches in 3 1/3. And a strikeout for Michael Wacha to start play here in inning number 5, and that's his 6th overall. The Chevy Fox Tracks. Little cutter there by Michael Wacha.
Nice pitch. That's something, like I said, he comes up, fastball change, gets a little bit of the cutter working, breaking ball.
Michael Conforto. There's the curveball down and in.
The old Darryl Kyle school of pitching. You throw the pitches that aren't your best as much as you can to get them to think about it, and then put them away with your good stuff.
That would make a lot of sense.
Darryl Kyle said when his curveball was terrible, he would throw it all the time. He said, 1, I wanted to get it in their head, and 2, I wanted to try to get it better. And then he would use the fastball to try to get guys out.
Always heard stories, and all of us not privy to what you were, being a teammate, being in the clubhouse with Darryl Kyle, but everybody said he was just an amazing teammate.
I think we were really lucky. We had a lot of good guys through those years and never had a problem with any one of them. But there were some exceptional guys in that locker room. And I think that it was something that was a culture. I don't think they were all exceptional guys coming from other places. I think they were great guys that just blended together and learned how to be better leaders.
And a base hit by Conforto in front of Ozuna.
I think that for me, coming from really nothing, just growing up in Southern California and just worked my way to the big leagues, and I had to learn everything at the big league level. I felt like it got there and it was just another eye-opening experience. And then when I got here, it was almost like, okay, I'm still learning, and then I learned from the best with La Russa, but with a group of guys who shared their experiences. And that's when the bullpen, the starting pitchers' bullpens were watched by the other 4 guys and sometimes by the rest of the guys, and they all shared their experiences. And it was almost like we went to the playoffs one year and learned how to communicate, and then from then on it just took off. And guys like that shared down with Yachty, and just Yachty's become like another coach on the field. I see him out there when Matt Holliday was taking ground balls at first base, and Yachty was out there trying to talk to him so Jose could hit him ground balls, Okendo. And so everyone's chipping in to try to make everyone better.
1 ball and 1 strike. Pass down
to him.
Yep. Guys like Woody Williams and Chris Carpenter, Matt Morris.
Never seen a group with such quality guys on one team. Never. I mean, all through those years, every one of those guys were special. They were good to each other. They leaned on each other. And it was just something to watch. And for some reason, that pitching staff was even closer than the rest of us, but kind of could see it and you kind of fed off of it.
The 1-2 pitch to Cespedes. Swing and a miss. Strikes out for the 2nd time tonight.
Another good slider. Another good slider cutter, sorry. Using all his weapons.
He's got that pitch up. It's really been elevating, and
there's that cutter right there, yeah.
So many good teams in the early 2000s, guys in their prime. Yourself, Renteria, certainly Chris Carpenter coming off of injury. Best was yet to come with him.
We got a lot out of guys that were maybe past their prime or not really the best of players. And they did so much with what they had. I mean, think about what a guy like Jeff Suppan was to our organization. Wasn't the best of the staff, but got most out of it. Didn't throw hard, but did everything he could and won games. And it was a workhorse. Matt Morris coming back from Tommy John surgery, throwing 98 miles an hour out of the bullpen.
Oh yeah, I remember his first appearance in Arizona out of the pen. Looked unhittable. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Jay Bruce. And the funny thing was, 06 was not the most talented team. The early 2000 teams were.
Matt Morris came out of the bullpen one night, and he was feeling it. And he hadn't pitched a whole lot, so he was still pretty fresh from Tommy John. And he came running out of the bullpen, running by me and J.D. Drew, and he kind of winked and said, "Watch this," as he comes running onto the field like
he knew.
You're gonna don't miss this. This is gonna be good. And he went in and he was throwing 97, 98. It was just ridiculous.
Boy, he was a beauty, wasn't he? Ooh. Often overlooked in the teams in the mid-2000s. Reggie Sanders, and until Tommy Pham, he was the last that was a 20-20 man. Larry Walker picked up for a stretch run. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Jay Bruce in the dirt.
The other thing about those guys is it's a different era now, but every one of those guys, if you didn't run hard, if you didn't do something right, they would literally walk right up to you and say, "What are you doing? Why didn't you run? What were you thinking? Everyone's watching you. You know, explain yourself." Like, it was just like Larry Walker, Reggie, those guys, Sean Dunston, Eric Davis. I mean, we had such great veteran group leaders. It was insane, and you played the game the right way in fear of them.
Walker is sharp tonight. He has struck out 8. Matchup we have Noah Syndergaard, Carlos Martinez, and the pregame show. It's early tomorrow, 11:30 here on Fox Sports Midwest. Two of the top right-handers in all of baseball, and we have it for you tomorrow, 11:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. Here's Paul DeYoung, who is doubled tonight. 7-1 Cardinals. 3 runs in the third. 4 more in the fourth. And the Cardinals have 7 runs on 5 hits. Mets have committed 3 errors. The 2-0 pitch and a base hit for DeYoung. The BJC Healthcare difference maker is Jed Jerko digs in for St. Louis. Carpenter, Jerko, Fowler, all sitting on 99 home runs. And maybe a little personal history before this one is through tonight. And Jerko taps it foul. We're talking about 04, 05, 06. And one of my all-time favorite players, Larry Walker,
should be in the Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
But we were talking about it the other night. I think there's more of a groundswell of support for him in the last 12 months than we've seen in all the years that he's been on the ballot. I think people are taking a harder look, and I hope the voters do. You just cannot penalize a player for playing at Coors Field. I mean,
you're talking about one of the greatest all-around players. Run, throw, hit for power, everything. Hit for average. He would have done that anywhere. I mean, you see what he did here. Hit balls up into the seats, over the bullpen.
With a bad back.
With a bad back.
End of his career. I thought he was, and I still have not seen anybody better at deking a runner.
Except for me.
Jimmy, he was pretty darn good.
He was great. Probably where I learned it from. I'll tell you what impressed me by far the most I've ever seen anything in my life. Spring training game in Tucson, Arizona. Larry Walker strikes out a ball in the dirt. He starts walking back to the dugout. The catcher picks up the ball, throws the ball to third to throw it around. Larry sprints to first base safe. He's always thinking.
Yeah.
He was such a baseball person.
So he was never tagged.
I'm standing in center field going, what in that? It's spring training, Larry. Calm down. I'm on the other team, right? But then I look at it and I go, what? That's the smartest play I've ever seen in my life. Who would even think of that?
Right. Always ahead, thinking the game. First at bat in St. Louis, Busch Stadium 2. He strikes out and got a standing O. He said, what have I gotten myself into?
That's what we all say.
This is incredible. 3-2 pitch lifted in the air. Deep left field. At the wall, number 100 for Jed Jerko. 100 home runs in the career of Jed Jerko. Congratulations.
Those guys down there. Just another Jed Jerko swing right there. Ball's up. It's a good, smooth swing and hits the barrel. He's got so much pop. Never comes out of his shoes. It's always that same swing.
So the 2-run homer hit by Jerko, his first of the year. And here's Colton Wong. 9-1 Cardinals. In this ball game, let's say the Cardinals hold on for a victory. You'll talk about that milestone. Maybe the pitching of Michael Wacha, which should not be overlooked, at least thus far. The 2 infield hits by Colton Wong. He's got a couple of base hits. Hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield, but with those infield hits, he has scored a couple of runs. and started a little bit of a push. And this time he skies one into shallow center. And Conforto calls off Flores and makes the catch. Cardinals Kids Club presented by Rawlings. Sign up at cardinals.com/kids club. If you come to the ballpark, you can sign up at the family pavilion. Really fun. The players get involved with this. Chance to get tickets and memorabilia. Players only party for the kids. Make sure you do it. Here's Michael Wacha. Personal milestone for him was strikeout number 600 in his career. The 1-1. That's it out of play. Not just because you're sitting here.
But I am sitting here, so be careful.
Very good friends. And you're my broadcast partner. But I didn't think it was right that you should have been one and done and off the ballot for the Hall of Fame. And I say that for a couple of reasons. We put a premium now more than ever on defense. And at the height of your career, making these highlight reel catches and plays and on good teams was the era of watching the highlights, whether it be on Sports Center or the national shows, and you're plastered from coast to coast. People could see what you were doing, so it wasn't like you were on a coast and people couldn't see what you were doing. And I just thought that you would get a lot more consideration for the 8 Gold Gloves, nearly 400 home runs. And I would hope that the committee, the latter stages of looking back at those players, takes a harder look at what you did. It may happen. But you've got the red jacket, and now you get to sit next to me. What a great consolation prize.
Perfect.
The strike to Bader. Bader filling in for Tommy Pham. We'll find out more with Tommy, but a laceration of some sort and had to leave the game. Did not happen between the white lines. It's behind the scenes, and we'll find out more after the game.
Not happen between the white lines.
Jammed him. And Bader is the third out. Cardinals add to their lead. Jed Jerko. He's found a home here in St. Louis. He's done that a lot. That one, career home run number 100. Line him up. It's all Cardinals tonight. Game summary. Cardinals with a 9-1 lead. The 7-hit attack. 3 errors for the Mets tonight. The starter Steven Matz knocked out after 3 1/3. And Michael Wacha up to 8 strikeouts already here in game number 2. Here's Todd Frazier. Before it was a light rain, and now, Jimmy, you can say it's a mist here at the ballpark. Just a very light mist.
Just keep it that way.
Todd Frazier with a base hit into right, and the 1-1 pitch, a changeup. And the 1-2 pitch. Hit down the right field line, slicing foul and out of play. Well, if you love pitching, get to the ballpark tomorrow. It's about as good as it gets. Syndergaard and Martinez here in game number 3. If the Mets can keep Syndergaard, DeGrom healthy, there's a fly ball into right. The catch made by Fowler. They'll stay in the race.
Definitely. I mean, pitching is going to win for you, especially that kind of pitching, and we'll get a good look at part of it tomorrow. But every one of these guys has good stuff so far. I mean, they had some stats in there with the fastball velocity, the slider velocity, and 3 of these guys, strikeouts. But you can win some games 1-0, 2-1. They got some offense. It's just got to come around. Thank you for being in the East. Don't have to see very much of them.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's why when you think about, at least in the last, let's say, 3 to 5 years, and teams that hit a bunch of home runs, when they run into great pitching in postseason play, you can have all those home runs in the regular season, but it doesn't matter if you run into, you know, a great 1-2 punch and then mix in a third or a fourth that gets hot. It's lights out.
And those teams too play some close games during the course of the year, especially the National League. You rely on the bunt, move some guys over, and know how to win those kind of games. Take you a long way into the playoffs. Just playing the game the right way is such a plus, instead of sitting back and just watching guys hit the ball. I mean, you still got to run the bases. You still got to play defense. You got to learn how to move guys around.
Oh, Wong, what a play here. Backhanded on the short hop. His defense has really stood out in this homestand. Man, has it been good. He was positioned perfectly by the Cardinals and comes up with a dandy here.
Just such smooth hands.
Wow.
Pick. Puts the glove down as long as he can. Spin around and throw him out.
Fly ball hit out of play. Cardinals starters, if they go 6 or more, the team 8 wins, 3 losses. And if it's under 6 in 11 games, 5-6 the record. ERA much different as well. That's gloved by the third baseman tonight, Jed Jerko. And Wacha another 1-2-3. Brabia for the Geico 500. Get ready for all the fast-paced, heart-thumping action from the Super Speedway starting at 12:30 on Fox. You can stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Looks like Michael Walker, his night is through. To 98 pitches, 64 were strikes. John Brabia up in the Cardinals' pen. And a ground ball hit to Gonzalez. One away. Here's a look at Brabia, and now the beard is starting to take a little bit more shape. I did not recognize him when I saw him in spring training.
Getting some years back on his face.
Yeah.
The fresh-faced kid.
Looked at that guy and I said, man, he's throwing 98. Pretty good arm. Wow, good slider. Who is it? It was John Brabia. Clean shaven. Here's Jose Martinez. Here's a 1-0 pitch. And it's taken inside. 2 balls and no strikes. You know, we mentioned the name of Anthony Reyes twice this week. And for Cardinal fans that don't know, he was, of course, the Game 1 winner, the World Series of 2006. And now he's a firefighter in California. Something he always wanted to do.
What are the chances, guys? He wins the first game of the World Series. Mike James wins the first playoff game in 2000. Firefighter.
Mike James, a firefighter.
Yes, he is.
In California?
In Florida.
Florida.
Tried to keep those two apart.
And keep you right in the middle.
Yes.
Keep you here.
Can't go right or left anymore. It's stay away from those guys.
Here's a 3-1 pitch to Jose Martinez. Reaching for it, grounds it to short. And that's out number 2. Hey, don't forget, Soccer Night returns to Busch Stadium. That'll be May 17th. This is a great soccer town, and fans can purchase a special themed ticket, receive an exclusive St. Louis Cardinals soccer jersey. Soccer Night tickets, cardinals.com/theme. And a strike to Marcell Ozuna. Steven Matz, if you just joined us, went 3 1/3 for the Mets, nearly 90 pitches. So this has been a major league debut for Oswalt. 0-2 the count with 2 outs. And he swings through a breaking pitch in a 1-2-3 inning. 9-1 our score. We head to the 7th. And it's up to the bullpen to get the final 9 outs. It's 9-1 here in game number 2. Our Chevy called to the pen. 2 games for John and a 0 ERA. 3 strikeouts. Chevy called to the pen. Boy, was he good last year. Really saved the bullpen of the Cardinals. Yadier Molina takes over at first base. Francisco Pena is behind the plate, and Tyler O'Neill is your new right fielder for St. Louis. There's O'Neill in right. He can play all 3 outfield spots. Here's Jose Lobaton. And the first pitch, a foul ball. This bullpen has a chance to be very good for the Cardinals, and that's in to the gap in left center. Lobaton will stop at first, cut off by Ozuna. And let's check in with Jim Hayes with more on the bullpen of the Cardinals.
Danny, Greg Holland threw a scoreless inning last night. He's now had 3 straight scoreless outings, going 3 innings with 1 walk, 4 Ks, and no earned runs. I asked Greg today if he's ready to take over as closer, and he told me this: they didn't sign me to be the closer, they signed me to help this team get to the playoffs and ultimately win a World Series. As far as I'm concerned, if I'm not the best option in the 9th inning, then we're in pretty good shape. I'm just going to keep on answering the bell when my name is called. Danny?
Well, for $14 million, I would think he was brought in to close games out. Good stuff as always, Jimmy. And Mike Matheny before the game asked about Greg Holland, or meeting with Mike in his office, and he said last night that's the guy that we thought we were getting. More and more seeing signs of Holland being the closer that we've seen in the past, and it would surprise me one bit that if a save situation comes up, let's say tomorrow, that Greg Holland is the guy that the Cardinals go to. And there's a strikeout for Brebbia.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see when or if he has or will throw back-to-back nights too. It just gives you more feel. You know, he's a touch guy. I mean, he throws hard, but he uses that slider so much and such break on it that it's okay for him to go out there back-to-back nights. He's going to have to do it soon, and when he starts doing stuff like that, you know he's on his game, and that's when you'll see him in the 9th inning.
A base hit by Rosario. I asked Mike Matheny, I said, after a game last night, you have been in pro baseball for so many years. How does it compare to when you're a catcher, 9th inning, you put down a sign, and all of a sudden a bomb is hit, you lose the game, and you think about that after the game. And then last night, some of the decisions that you make as a manager, they don't work out, they don't pan out. How do you deal with that? And it was interesting. He pointed to his watch and he said, basically I monitor my steps and
heart rate,
my sleep. He said, I've always been able to sleep.
He's a good sleeper is what he was saying. Yeah. And I mean, I know that from playing with him, but it's nice because he does have a little bit of a drive home. He does spend some time in the clubhouse. I like what else he said about meeting with the rest of the coaching staff.
They go over the game.
They break down the game a little bit more. But that's it. That's your that's how you get rid of all that stress and anxiety, and you talk about it, you clear the air with each other, you have each other's back, and then you move on.
Boy, it's just tough though to have I would think a short memory as a closer, which guys talk about all the time. If they blow a save, they are able to basically say goodbye to that game, look ahead to tomorrow. But as a manager, you're leading 25 guys. You're dealing with the media.
I think you see Mike make decisions and he answers the questions just like he learned from Tony, and you put everything out there. You make the best decision that you can make, given whatever's in front of you and however your guy's health is.
Double play ball, 4-6-3. Long playing with some confidence with that leather. That was slick. May 4th, 5th, and 6th. Weekend matchup you don't want to miss, and great seats still remain. Now the Saturday game nearly sold out, well over 40,000 on May 4th, 5th, and 6th. And you want to make sure and get your tickets right now. Cardinals.com/promotions. There's only one. Cardinals baseball. Yachty hits it down the left field line, but yanks it foul as the rain is picked up here at the ballpark. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. That great shot earlier, young boy that was here with the Make-A-Wish folks. And he's going to be coming back next month. His favorite player is Carlos Martinez. And he'll have a chance to play a little catch on the field with Carlos. Here's the 0-2. Molina out to left. And it's caught on the track. Conforto, a nice play. Many years I had the privilege of emceeing the Make-A-Wish Foundation golf tournament, and they would bring a young boy or girl at the tournament to talk about their plight. And the idea was obviously to tug at heartstrings and donate and raise money. But some of the amazing stories that you hear from these little boys and girls, it's incredible. Take a look at the Nissan drive of the game, and Jed Jerko with career home run number 100. The Nissan drive of the game. A trade for John Jay. You're thinking, okay, the Cardinals are getting Jed Jerko. All right. How's this going to work out? First year, 30 home runs.
Pretty solid.
Next year, 20. Can play 3 different, and really 4 if he was at first base, 4 different infield spots. Very good against left-handed pitching. 1 ball, 1 strike. If he's not starting, he is a threat off the bench. Can turn on any fastball in the league. He fouls that one back. One ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Nobody on for the Cardinals in the home half of the 7th. And he struck him out. So with that, we head to the 8th, and the Cardinals leading by the score of 9-1. Forever legendary MLB moments happen. Budweiser will be there. And by Ford, going further so you can. Crowd tonight here at Busch Stadium, 38,045. 38045. The second inning for John Brebbia. They'll get Lagares, Nimmo, and Frazier. Light rain continues to fall here in St. Louis. Again, a reminder that we're on the air tomorrow, 11:30. The award-winning pregame show. They've won so many awards over the years.
I get a kick out of Brebbia's follow through. That kind of velocity. He's literally just letting it fly, and body just kind of goes everywhere.
Here's a 1-1.
This finish is classic. Little extra effort. Nope, that was the slider. Bad timing.
Here's a 1-2. Ground ball right side. Backhanded by Molina. He throws it over Brebbia. Before games, we get here very early to the ballpark, and you'll see Yadier Molina at shortstop, third base, first base, working with Jose Oquendo for times like these, if he is indeed called into a game. But that's how he gets loose.
Ball slipped out of his hand, and look at Pena. What a great job. Pena probably knew right there that Yadi's going to have a tough time throwing that ball, but You could see him reach for his fingers. He threw like a spitball over to first base.
Here's Brandon Nimmo. Molina playing behind the runner at first with an 8-run lead. To further the point you made about the delivery of John Brebbia in spring training, I said, all right, John, how did this happen? How'd you go from being in pro ball, then you're in the independent league, and no one knew who he was? I mean, nobody knew who this guy was. We didn't know. Spring training of 2 years ago. And he said, I made a conscious decision. He said, I always had a pretty good slider. I was throwing low 90s. And he said, I did a little self-evaluation. I'm not throwing hard enough, so every time I get the ball, I'm going to throw it as hard as I possibly can. Let me see if I can get a little velocity. He starts throwing 94, 95. In spring training this year, he was consistently in one appearance hitting 98. He said, look, what I'm doing is not good enough, clearly, so I got to change things. So I'll just start throwing as hard as I can. And he said it was tough with the delivery. It's interesting you bring that up, because he said his delivery was just completely out of whack until he was able to, get comfortable with what he does and then try to figure out a way to simplify it.
You got to generate a little bit more momentum towards the plate in order for your arm to catch up or stay on the same path. And yeah, if you throw that hard, you got to get some body behind it. Next thing you know, like you said, he's throwing 97 and got a big old beard. Pitch it in the big leagues.
Could lose food in that beard. It's a fastball at 95.
I think the hard thing to do for pitchers too is you got to learn how to pitch at that effort level and throw strikes, because you can't, at this level, you just can't throw high fastballs all day long because you throw hard. You got to throw the ball around the plate.
Three and two the count. That's right, the award-winning pregame show tomorrow at 11:30. Not sure what awards they've won, but it sounds good.
I was hoping we would get an Emmy last year. A couple good shows we put together.
How was your work on that wonderful program? Pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. Big group over there putting that show together.
Tim Trokey and Alan Stout. Colleen Ryan. Ed Bond.
There's that Scott guy too.
Scott Warman, he's there day in and day out. Now Raboski, Brad Thompson, and Rick Ankiel. Jimmy Edmonds. The great Jim Hayes. Every once in a while I'm asked to make an appearance on that show. Not very often, though.
You never make it over there. We have enough parking issues. We don't need you going over there trying to park.
It just missed. One and two on Todd Frazier.
Place will be something next door, though, in what, a couple more years when they finish that?
Before then, Got the hotels, or the hotel going up, and more retail and more excitement here downtown. Jimmy, just think on some of those late night West Coast games that sometimes can wrap up, let's say 1:30 or 2 in the morning here in St. Louis. We will get a presidential suite for you across the street.
I'm pretty sure that I will be sleeping.
On the air or off?
Hopefully off.
Want to make sure you get your proper rest.
Said, speaking of Ballpark Village, did you think that the Cubs did a really nice job of giving a little miniature version of Ballpark Village over there? I mean, they cleaned it up. They put that grass down outside the new hotel over there. Bunch of new restaurants. I was impressed. I'll tell you what, if you're a Cardinals fan and you go see the Cubs and Cards every year in Chicago, check out Wrigleyville now. Get there early. Look at your schedule and look at that hotel. I'm drawing a blank on that hotel. Hotel Zachary.
That used to be.
That place is amazing.
Well, their village, if you will, for lack of a better term, is. That used to
village.
Be the players' parking lot. That's where you used to park.
That grass was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I mean, just they're doing a really nice job with that ballpark. That was not a fun place to play when the weather is bad.
Well, we saw plenty of that last week. A little chilly.
Do you think what Mike said about the dugouts? If they didn't redo those dugouts and bring heaters for those guys, they might not have been able to play that game.
Out to center. Good work by Brebbia with 2 scoreless innings. 9-1 our score here at Busch Stadium. Pet treat jars, courtesy of Purina. Jars are available upon gate entry to 30,000 pet lovers. That's May 5th. Cardinals and Cubs. Cubs in town, and you take home a pet treat jar. Wong hits it the other way. Conforto back and makes the catch. Nice play. Started in center, moved to left. Wow. And a nice play.
Some of these guys are so athletic. Little rejecto glove almost right there. I was playing in the minor leagues with a trapeze glove. Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah.
And I went into the gap.
O'Neill hit by the pitch.
Been waiting all day for him to hit.
Between innings, my partner's been talking about, I can't wait to watch, you have been saying, I can't wait to watch Tyler O'Neill have a plate appearance. That hurts right off the forearm, left forearm of O'Neill.
He has the elbow pad on, and the ball got a little bit below the elbow pad.
Lift all the weight you want, that still hurts.
Yep.
Here's Harrison Bader. Rain continues to fall here at the ballpark. Ozzie Smith used a trapeze.
He did. I think he's the one that made it famous, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, I went to backhand a ball that I was on the run for, and it hit just like that glove right there by Conforto, and it literally just shot right out. And I had a backup glove, just happened to have an old glove, and I went straight to the dugout, threw my glove in the trash, got the other glove out, and never used another one. Never used another trap.
I don't see it used as often as it once was.
A lot of people said that that ball would, if it hit in the wrong spot. It was a great glove. It just really had to work that pocket in.
Yeah.
If it hit just right below the pocket where the edge of your hand is, it would just like shoot just like that right there. Just shot right out. That glove looks to be pretty brand new, so might be beating that one in after the game.
How'd you break in your gloves?
I was just going to say, I used to just play catch with them, but J.D. Drew taught me how to beat it up a little bit and create a bigger pocket.
Rosario. I've seen some guys actually take shaving cream, rub it in, take a softball, put it in the pocket, tie it up overnight.
That's to get the fold started.
Yeah.
So J.D. took the end of a bat, sat down on his chair, put the bat between his legs, and put his glove on his hand and jammed the glove from up high down low on top of the round bat, right where he wanted the ball to have the pocket to be, so where the ball would hit in his hand. And so, which was nice because you create actually a bigger pocket, which you need. So you're forcing your glove to have more of a pocket all around the web and not just rely on the web. It was interesting the first time I saw it, and then I started doing it, and then so much more control over the ball in my glove, because it really just beat this area where when you closed your glove, you still had this little area where the ball could fit, where in some of these gloves, the ball, when you close the glove, the ball's really, you know, stuck. It's not really like in a pocket. It can slide around still.
Everybody checking on Jose. He says he's all right. You can smile when you're winning 9-1 and you get a rocket hit at you.
No, still don't want to smile. He's getting too old down there to be ducking and dodging line drives.
And then guys have the gloves that sometimes you'll use infield, outfield practice, but before the game, and then they've got the quote-unquote the gamer.
I use a small glove, like almost like an infield glove for batting practice.
Up and in.
I kind of like the glove to stay firm, but the pocket soft. But I didn't want it flopping around. And I think you watch more and more guys now, you don't see that old glove anymore. They sometimes get too flimsy.
See on the forearm of Pena, that's like a quarterback in football. It's a line foul, and hopefully everybody all right, but that's a little cheat sheet that he's got when he's behind the plate at times.
I was lucky, though. I had a great group of people behind me in Rawlings and a great rep. Take care of me whenever I needed something. And Rawlings was amazing to me. And
well,
Stevie, whenever I needed something, he was there.
I'm sure he did it very quietly, too.
Except for he used to wear that blue shirt spring training every day, so I knew he was a Met fan, so I had to give him the business every day I saw him. But no, all kidding aside, great organization, great gloves. I would never change a thing except for the trapeze.
The 2-2 pitch to Pena. Look at where Jose Oquendo has moved. He's back, but even further back than the third base umpire.
Is that even legal?
I don't think anybody's going to give him any
I think
trouble.
O'Neill could beat him to third.
I don't blame him.
Do you remember Latchman when Mark McGwire
I was just going to say
hitting?
that. Renee Latchman basically would be in the seats
behind the ball boy.
Yep. And Pena strikes out. 7 hits aside, a 9-1 Cardinals lead. The banks of the Mississippi and a rainy night here in St. Louis. Cardinals capitalized, and it's added up to a 9-1 lead. While we have a moment, we turn to tonight's Budweiser plays of the game and the strikeouts here for Michael Wacha, which included career strikeout number 600. Chance for Brebbia potentially to pick up a save. There's a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal. And the first pitch is a high fly ball, center field off the bat of Gonzalez. And there's one away. So Brebbia gets the first out, and trying to put together 3 scoreless innings in relief of Michael Wacha. Tim Garcia, quick as a cat. So we lost our signal to our monitors up here in the booth, but Jimmy, I know you were really nervous, got upset about it, but everything will be fine. And that'll be fine.
To throw the monitors down on the field. Start over. Can't believe that as well as Brebbia's pitched last year, well, mostly last year, obviously, does not have a save.
Did not go, and it's 1-2 on Jose Lobaton. Really looking forward to tomorrow. Syndergaard, Martinez, pregame show 11:30.
Not a lot of hitters looking forward to it.
No,
though.
I bet not. Come up with a little Martinez-itis. Skip a little sore today.
That's going to be happening on both sides.
Syndergaard-itis.
New name for it.
You always look at that as a, and I realize it's tough, but a great challenge to face some of the top pitchers and see where you're at.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But the challenge for me usually against a guy like that would be, I remember Brad Penny threw so hard, and the challenge was to not swing at a ball. I stood up a little bit because he threw a high fastball, and I literally tried to hit the ball into left center field without overswinging, so I wouldn't swing at pitches over my head. It was hard, but if you concentrate, try to be a little shorter, let him do all the work. Now Brad Penny only had a good breaking ball, and that was it. I mean, he had a changeup, but it wasn't great, but threw hard. He's a good pitcher. That was my challenge for the day. Get on top of the fastball and just don't swing at anything else.
I would think Randy Johnson, lefty would be.
That was a lot of fun, by the way. I'll tell you what, the very first time I ever faced him in Anaheim, I didn't sleep the night before. I literally was so scared. I mean, that was when he was throwing 100 in Seattle. Control wasn't as good.
He's 6'10". He's coming from the side. Probably looks like it's coming from behind you as a left-handed batter.
Went 1 for 4 off in my first game, and so the coach, I think it was Marcel Latchman, put me in to face him when we went to Seattle later that year. I'm thinking I'm a rookie or maybe my second year. And I'm like, oh man, this isn't going to be fun, right? So lo and behold, I got a little tip on some of his pitches and kind of had an idea what was coming. And first at bat hit a home run, second at bat hit a home run, third at bat hit a ball right between his legs. As I'm standing on first, I'm thinking to myself, he's going to hit me square in the back the next time up. He walked me 4 pitches, and then after the game, with a whole lot of respect for him, he said in the media, I just couldn't get him out today, which that didn't happen a whole lot for lefties. And ever since then, the game was on. I've never missed him.
My favorite was Carlos Zambrano. He did a little damage against Carlos at Wrigley. Those were fun games.
Those were some fun games, is right. Especially at Wrigley.
You bet.
There's nothing like hitting a ball out of the stadium and onto the street. Don't get that opportunity to do that here very often, or ever.
We were thinking about the longest home runs hit at this ballpark, and opened up in '06. Albert put one close to Clark Street.
With all due respect, I think that ball last night was the furthest one I've seen since Mark McGuire's days.
Yeah. That's a foul ball. This would be Brebbia's first major league save, and he's 1 strike away. Michael Walker would pick up the win. It sets up game 3 tomorrow. Mets, they took game 1 in extra innings. Cardinals took advantage of the mistakes by New York here in game 2. Swing and a miss. Brebbia. It's the final 9 outs, and the Cardinals win it. Take game 2 by the final of 9-1. Nice work by John Brebbia. You have to capitalize on mistakes. Cardinals did that.
Sloppy play tonight. Put the Mets in a hole, and Cardinals scored 9 runs. So good win. Looking forward to tomorrow. At least I am. Maybe not the hitters.
Post-game show comes your way next.